मुनव्वर भाई के लड़के को इसको इसको इधर आप आए, ये मेरा काम है, वो आपका काम है।
Please, इसको नहीं। If we don't let them, then in future they will never come. But make him understand. Okay. So, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Luqman first showed his sign, and after showing his sign, he has come and said that these are my creations. Okay. Now you try to find out other creatures and trying to find out the creations of other creators. And if you find them out, then you compare them. And if you don't find them out, then you accept that I am the creator and go down in front of it. Next ayat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا لُقْمَانَ الْحِكْمَةَ أَنْ يَشْكُرَ لِلَّهِ وَمَنْ يَشْكُرْ فَإِنَّمَا يَشْكُرُ لِنَفْسِهِ وَمَنْ كَفَرَ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَنِيٌّ حَمِيدٌ. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praises Hazrat Luqman alayhi salam. And he says that وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا لُقْمَانَ الْحِكْمَةَ. Here something for elders to understand rather than the youngsters, and that is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed Hazrat Luqman with hikmah. What is hikmah? Hikmah, in English you can say wisdom, or the power to understand the realities of this universe. You see, when we are observing things which are material. As I explained, that which we can get the input through 5 senses. If any of these things does not come under 5 senses, we won't be able to perceive it. These are known as zahir, open, visible, you can feel with 5 senses. But when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses someone with hikmah, with ma'rifah, then he is able to visualize or able to perceive things which are beyond matter. As we say, الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. Those who believe in ghaib. What is ghaib? Ghaib is all those things which are non-material. In one way, anything beyond this wall is also ghaib for me. But that is material. I can go and see that. Or I can just break the wall, I can remove the curtain and I can see that. This is not actual that ghaib. Ghaib is a thing which you cannot perceive or see just through your 5 senses. Rather, that ghaib is which can only be observed through the wisdom and heart. Now, to explain the heart is also something difficult. Whenever we say heart, it does not mean the simple heart which is pumping the blood. But if you consider the soul, I'll take a minute or two to explain inshallah. If you consider the soul of a human being just like the body of a human being. So that soul has eyes, that soul has tongue, that soul has nose, that soul has ears, that soul has heart. That heart is known as qalb in Quran. So when you gain the powers, I don't like to use the word supernatural powers, they are also natural powers, only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses a person with that power. Then you can perceive many things beyond the material life. And that is what is known as hikmah. And if we really try to polish our soul and polish our heart, stay away from guna, stay away from najis cheez, stay away from creating problem for others, you will see slowly and steadily you start getting that noor, that light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on your heart. And at times my experience is that I have seen people having, young people, not necessarily old people, young people having that heart, I call it Noorani heart, Noorani qalb. Just because they stayed away from guna in a place where guna was most easy thing to be done. See, once a person in my position, to think of guna is difficult, what to say about doing guna. So, nothing very big. But a person who is in the situation where guna is something very easy, just like drinking a glass of water. and then he stays away from guna. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants. And this is what actual marifat helps a person in doing, that he knows. No one can see except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For example, $100 note is lying there, you saw it from that person's pocket and quickly put it in his pocket. No problem, no one will understand. But he says no. No one sees, no problem. But Allah is watching. Allah is there all the time. And he just returns that $100. Or things like that. Thousands of examples are there in your society. If we start practicing this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens his ways towards marifat, opens his ways towards those successes which are the real success in the life. So, brothers and if sisters are listening to me, try to stay away from guna, perform your wajibat and observe what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you. That is hikmah, and that will show. That's why at times people meet some elders who have stayed away from guna for years, they start speaking hikmah. Or there is a hadith which says, Man akhlasa lillahi arba'ina sawahan jarallahu ala lisani yanabi al-hikmah. Whosoever purifies his actions for 40 days, 40 days, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will start making his language or his tongue or his words full of hikmah. But 40 days minimum is required to purify the soul. And once we purify the soul, then we understand and realize. At times you might be thinking that why Imam Zain Abidin salam used to cry used to cry all the time. You may not be able to realize. But if you sit down and visualize that the whole incidence of Karbala is passing through your eyes, what will happen? Automatically. Even if there is no Masaiban member, if there is a thing like that, just start visualizing and you will see that eyes start going down your eyes. So this is that level of marifat, this is that level of hikmat which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given, and that is always with Imam alayhi salam, nothing new for Imam, but for us also this situation is possible. And once we clear our souls, we clear our heart, we don't have negative feelings. One of the good things of these white people, I should call it, Europeans I should call it, or whatever you say, one of the good things they have is that usually, normally, as far as people have observed, that they are very straightforward. If they are going to do something, they will do. If they are not going to do, they won't do. If they are going to start the program at 9, they will say we'll start at 9, and they'll start. And if they are not going to start, they will say no, we are. And when they go to office, they are very clear. 9 to 5 we are in the office, we are going to perform the duty. When we are in some place, we will follow the law. And when we are doing wrong thing, they do the wrong thing also with full sincerity. Although they don't consider it wrong for us, it's wrong. This gives them success in life. Today, one of the problems with Muslims is that usually Muslims try to pull the leg of other Muslim members. Then I don't see such things. They may be, might be there, but not the way we are in. With the result, when we insult a moment, when we create a problem for a moment, you know what the hadith says, just last hadith for today? Man ahana waliyan faqad barazani bil Muharram. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, whosoever insults a moment, a wali, a one whom I like and he loves me, Abdullah we can call him. Whosoever insults a servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, it is as if he has announced a war against me. And see how simply, I haven't seen the situation over here, last 18 years I was not here, but I know usually that person talking about that person talking about that person talking about that person, and all the time. If we just don't do that, we just recite zikr ilahi. And you see, at least, la yadurru man dhalla idha ihtadaytum. If you are guided, that's the best thing. If others are misguided, it's not your headache at the moment. Okay, Amul Maruf and Nahi Anil Munkar is there. So let's at least few of us start thinking in a positive way. And whenever we say, as Masumin have told us, whenever you see some moment, if he's elder, consider how much ibadat he has been doing. And if he's younger, how less sins he has been performing. And you see, the situation will change. But when we say, me, I say, my personality, they are wrong, they are wrong, they are wrong. And the situation changes. And that is where shaitan comes and the hikmat is gone. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma inna narghabu ilayka fi dawlatin kareema. تعز بها الإسلام وأهله وتذل بها النفاق وأهله وتجعلنا فيها من الدعاة إلى طاعتك والقادة إلى سبيلك وترزقنا بها كرامة الدنيا والآخرة يا أرحم الراحمين بحق محمد وآله الطاهرين اللهم صل